Living room without permission. Before night I noticed that hooded figure. I felt my heart pounding against my chest. My eyes were stinging from not sleeping well and I thought I was dreaming. It was just there on my couch, not moving, not making a sound. I blinked really hard and it disappeared. I was used to falling asleep on the couch with the TV on. Sometimes I woke up disoriented, but I always knew my apartment. That night I felt like nothing was normal anymore. I remembered the time on my phone was almost midnight. I drifted in and out of sleep in a boring documentary. The couch cushions felt lumpy underneath me. My neck was stiff. The room smelled of microwave dinner and old socks. I glanced around hoping to catch a glimpse of the time on the cable box, and that's when I saw a person or something shaped like a person in a hooded cloak. It sat upright in my old green couch, the one I found at a selling old stuff. I can't see the face, I can only see the outline of its head and shoulders. At first I feel confused, my vision is blurry, and I think, is this a trick of the light? My heartbeat is faster, my mouth is dry. I rub my eyes and lean forward trying to concentrate. My breathing is shallow and my fingertips are cold. I want to speak, but can't get a word out. It feels like my tongue is stuck to the roof of my mouth. I blink once and the silhouette disappears. There is no fading away, it's just there 1 second and gone the next. I sit up straight, scanning the room. The lamp on the side table is still on, the TV is still on, nothing else seems different. I get up, go to the armchair and run my hand along the chair. Feels normal. The cushions are the same old fabric, a little warm, but maybe that's just my imagination. I stand there feeling my pulse pounding in my neck. The apartment is quiet except for the faint chatter on the TV. I decide I'm too tired and half asleep to trust my senses. I turn it off TV and headed towards the bedroom. I closed the door, turned on the ceiling light and tried to calm down. My legs felt weak and my knees were shaking a little. My head was aching and I rubbed my temples. After a few minutes I convinced myself it was a hallucination. I changed into an old t-shirt and shorts, crawled into bed and tried to sleep for a few hours. Then I opened my eyes. The room was dark except for the light coming from the street light outside. My curtains were partially open. I could see a figure standing in front of the window. It was a figure with a hood, high and motionless. My stomach was in knots. I froze in place. My body was stiff. I thought, this can't be real, this was another dream. But I was awake. My sheet felt damp with sweat. My breath was raspy in my ears. I reached for the lamp on the nightstand, fumbled with the switch. I kept looking at that person the whole time. As soon as the light came on, it disappeared. The place near the window was empty. The curtains were shaking a little, but that could have been the air conditioner kicking in. My heart was pounding and my throat was tight. I got out bed, go to the window and pull the curtains closed. My hands are shaking, the back of my neck is tingling. I sleep with the lights on, then I turn on one light in the bedroom and another in the hallway. It still doesn't help much. Every time I fall asleep I startle awake at the slightest noise, usually just the hum of the fridge or the rattle of the floor, but every time I hear anything my eyes widen and I check the corners of the room. The rest of the night was miserable. I ended up pacing the hallway around 5 a.m. too uncomfortable to go back bed. The next day I try to keep myself busy. I go out for a walk around the block and get coffee. I try to stay in crowded places like the diner down the street. I want to avoid being alone with my thoughts. I keep remembering the hooded figure. That image replays in my head, that figure, that the silence. I even feel it in my body as a lingering shiver in my hands and shoulders. In the evening I feel feeling exhausted and stressed. I debated whether I should go to a friend's house or rent a motel room, but I didn't want to run away from home. I got back to my apartment around 700, ordered pizza and forced myself to eat every bite. It was tasteless. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the living room door, waiting for something to pop out. Nothing. I laid on the couch again, but this time I left every light on, the high fixtures in the living room, the standing light near the TV, the kitchen light and the hallway light, everything in my house bright and fake. The TV volume was low. I tried to watch a show, but I kept glancing around. There was a tension in the air, as if the room was holding its breath. Around midnight I started nodding off again. My head jerked forward a few times. I tried to stay awake, but my eyelids were heavy, giving me a scenario just now.